Yo, what's up guys? So today in this video, I'd like to talk about oh boy, Baam from Tower of God. And I know that you guys have never heard me. I've never made any sort of videos similar to this one. And today I want to change that. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Baam from Tower of God. The 25th Baam, whatever you want to call him. He's a very interesting character, isn't he? He's very powerful in the latter halves of Tower of God. He's very unique to high rankers. He's special. We've never seen a regular like this. And to high rankers and rankers in general, they refer to him as a regular. Even though we, as the viewers, know that Baam is an irregular and there's a significant difference between a regular and an irregular, like worlds apart, actually. So the 25th Baam, he's a very interesting character, but this got me thinking, what about this kid? What about him is really special? What about him is so unique? And he got me theorizing about his ability, the underlying ability to copy other people's powers. But that wasn't the only thing that was unique about this child, because in the latter end of Tower of God, in the newest chapter of Tower of God, we saw a unique version of his ability. We saw him use what is called a shinsu orb, along with an ability that I've liked to name or coin Void God Azeroth. Now, this ability is very similar to that of a character that is in That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Rimuru. He has the ability to absorb, devour, and steal other people's skills and powers depending on which part of their bodies he absorbs, if he absorbs the actual attack itself, or if he just absorbs that entire person. Now we've seen through the entire storyline that Baam, this little kid, can copy abilities. That's the first instance of this ability that we've ever seen. The first power or aspect of this ability that we've ever seen. And we weren't introduced to the void-like elements of it. We were just introduced to the basic elements that, oh, did you know that Baam can get slapped in the face and learn something? Well, now you know, because he done it against a ranker named Quant. Quant Blitz used the reverse shinsu control technique against Baam and froze Baam in that moment for a couple seconds. He couldn't move, he couldn't talk, and he was completely defenseless. He was completely and utterly rendered immobile. And without even having to really do much of any training or any strife for losing anyone or killing anyone like a certain character that we know of that eats some souls to get his ability, Baam learned the reverse shinsu control technique from Quant within an instant. This boy went from having no real remarkable attributes about him, nothing very unique, nothing very special, to being able to freeze a ranker in place. A ranker, a regular that is so weak in the tower. He's on the first floor, for God's sake. He is so low in ranking in the tower, and yet he can freeze a ranker with a technique that he just stole from that said ranker. It was baffling. It was something unique. It was surprising to the ranker. This has never been seen before. This is crazy. And then it happened again. When Baam went down his edgy phase and became Viole, he went down a phase where he was basically Thug's errand boy. And while climbing the tower and ranking up, he faced off against another ranker, Mool Love. And then, after what seems like a relentless fight against that ranker, what does he do? He copies the ranker's abilities and moves. He copies the ability of the blue ore, which is a shinsu disc that allows Baam, or Viole in this situation, in this part of the story, to move and glide and do all the little wonderful flying actions that he could do throughout the latter half of the story. Baam also copied the ranker's technique, Upshot. Although we've never seen him use it ever again in the story, he did copy it. Now, our little boy Baam is very unique, as you can see from his many feats throughout the entire story, doing epic, amazing feats, just breathing and learning abilities willy-nilly without ever have to sacrifice even a single drop of blood or even a person for that matter. Like a certain someone that we know that eats souls to gain his powers. Baam, even with all these evidence showing to everyone else around him that he's very unique and very special, he thinks that he's pretty commonplace. I'm not unique, I'm not special, I'm just like everyone else. Even when he went into the melting pot to attain liberation and to find his true self, he went up against the God of Guardians. And while doing so, the God of Guardians said he was special, but Baam didn't believe that. Baam didn't think it was true. And even the God of Guardians told him that, boy, you do not yet realize how special you really are. You do not yet realize just how unique you are in the tower. And your very existence, how just absolutely abysmally unique, special, and amazing your very existence is into the tower. You still think that you're very simple. You still think that you're very commonplace. And you have not yet realized your full potential. Well, that did change. Later on, we see Baam learn how to finally make his own shinsu shape and quality. He finally learned how to shape shinsu and give it the qualities that personally suited him the most, with the help of Kun Edwan. At first, our little regular struggled with the very notion of shaping his shinsu. What form could possibly suit or match our little boy that's turned into a man? And he struggled with it for a very, well, he's Baam, he's gifted with shinsu, so he didn't struggle with it for very long. And after getting some help from a device that would show him the rough shape of his shinsu quality and shinsu shape, he finally was able to grasp the shape of his shinsu and give it form. And that, my friends, was a beautiful, luxurious, but yet simple orb. It wasn't anything very special about this orb. It was just tossed in the story like, oh, well, that's your shinsu type or quality. But our boy Baam used that in the most epic fashion. And with infusing that orb with the power of the thorn, he dealt some devastating attacks that wiped the very will to fight from the souls, well, the data souls of the data humans and the data attackers. We see Baam on the fly make and invent a lot of various different attacks, shinsu based attacks using the orb and the red thorn. And then finally comes back to my favorite part, when Baam finally put what could be compared to as an opening within his own inner world. Now he called this my power, and he drew a little line to represent that power. And this is very significant, my friends. This is where Baam went from being a little ignorant little child that didn't really understand his full potential to finally getting a little tiny taste of the power lying within him, the terrifying power that's truly waiting just to burst out from the seams. And he unknowingly just opened a little tiny crack within that protective layer, that barrier, by drawing this simple line. Next, Baam would then show off this power, the leaking energy that flowed through that simple line and went outside into his own shinsu attack. Combined with his own shinsu attacks, this power would then be blasted at Data Jihad, and this power was devastating. It was something unreal, unmanageable. It shocked Data Jihad, and with conviction in his eyes and the black void-like miasma covering Baam's body, he rushed in to face Jihad and to show off his new powers with attacks that combine the powers of both his thorn, the butterfly piercing technique that he learned from Jin's song, and his newfound void abilities. He was able to push Jihad more or less effortlessly back, and he exclaimed that I'm gonna fight like myself. I'm going to fight like me, with a badass transformation, the thorn in the back, his shinsu orb with a black hole sphere just sitting over in the corner and the thorns popping out of his head. Baam would then continue on with his fight, and then we'd see more of his powers. He would use his powers against the anima that Jihad or Data Jihad's sword summoned to absorb that monster, and in the flash of an eye, that monster was gone. Nothing was left but the boy with eyes that shone as bright and as deep as a void. We would see Baam's attacks parry Data Jihad's attacks and consume his own arm in one fell swoop and a swift motion. He was able to completely devour the arm of Data Jihad. And this brings me back because I've been theorizing about his powers for a very long time now and what they could be, and I theorized that his powers are like a void. In my theory, I compare Baam's powers to that of a void, but the void is inside his very being, and now within the current parts of the story, Baam is finally letting out that void, the power, the raw void-like powers that devour everything gluttonously without any mercy. As stated by the Red Tesseract himself, his powers are merciless gluttony, and now we see that merciless gluttonous power being combined with the orb, the Shinsu orb, and turning it red, crimson blood red with a dark hue-like center. The very surrounding is being warped, pulled in and stretched by just the presence of this orb. And this is where I end my video. Tell me what you guys thought. If you like the theory, if you like the explanation, like, subscribe, and do all of that jazz. And please leave some criticism, constructive criticism please. I'd like to get onto the YouTube scene and do this more as a kind of hobby, and I'd really like to create a fun community where I can find more people similar to me and more people like me that are interested in the kind of things that I'm interested in, so that I can make videos and laugh and have fun with those kind of people, because I really like to just reach out to more people like me. Thank you, and see y'all in the next video. Bye now.